What's going on, everyone? It's Alex back here with your weather. Oh my god. That's the three words I will say. It has been a extremely crazy flip from Wednesday into yesterday into Friday today. So Thursday, we have hit 82 degrees in the afternoon before a line of very severe thunderstorms came through southern New Jersey and just barely missed Philly. However, we did get additional redevelopment and we did get a bit of a lightning show at night. So I was pretty happy to see that. But yeah, we got those thunderstorms to roll through. Then Thursday morning, we woke up with 60-degree temperatures. By the time I got out of school, it was snowing. And it was snowing heavily. We started seeing accumulations on the grass, even on the cars. So, my God, I mean, this is one of the craziest March weather seasons we've had in a decade, probably. And it's only about to get crazier. And I want to mention to you severe weather outbreak for Monday. Why am I saying this? We are seeing multiple guidances. We are seeing the CSU. We are seeing multiple guidances showing a big time thunderstorm squall line. But this ain't no ordinary squall line. You got near an 80 to 90 low level jet. Think about it. 80 to 90 knot low level jet. That equates to 100 miles per hour just above your head. If that mixes down with that line, oh my God. I don't even want to talk about how bad this could be on Monday, but please heed my warning. Monday could be a real bad day. And if that front slows down what we're seeing right now with the European, with the freaking short range guidance we're starting to get from the RFS, if that thing slows down as it's right now, we are getting supercells, we are getting tornadoes, we are getting a legitimate strong tornado outbreak potential in the Carolinas, Mid-Atlantic, and potentially up into New Jersey. Please keep my word about this event because this is the most dangerous outlook I've seen in years. It almost wants to remind me of April 1st, 2023. Even though that setup came from the West, this setup's really dynamic. So, again, we're going to get into that in this video. Probably all of it, honestly. But first, let's talk about our little system coming through the Great Lakes. We are seeing 70-mile-per-hour winds absolutely attacking Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, and Wisconsin today. And as we get further into the nighttime hours, we're going to see these damaging winds potentially getting into New Jersey and the Northeast as early as, let's say, 5 to 6 p.m., and we're going to start to really see those winds crank up. And then when we get into the nighttime hours, look at these really strong winds with that very tight low pressure up there in the Great Lakes. It isn't as bombed out, but, it's still something. And we do get some very gusty winds on Saturday. We could be seeing some 50 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts. So these trees, some of them might start losing their branches, so we will see how that plays out. Probably just a wind advisory for tonight, but we will have to see. Now, here comes your system for Sunday, and this is going to be the one that's responsible for all of this. So, first thing, let's just take a look at what's going on here. And you may say, oh, Alex, well, where's that big, massive jet stream? Where's that negative till? Where's that tornado outbreak? Don't worry. I will get into that all into this video. But first, I do want to show you the 500 millibar height anomaly. And you're going to notice it looks like a very zonal pattern. That's about to change, okay? So with your heights, you have a very strong positive PNA, a little bit of a trough, not too big of a deal. Maybe a little bit of a shower squall enhancing those winds tonight. We'll have to see. But when we get into Sunday, look at this full-fledged monster piece of energy diving down from Canada, and you see that ridge over there? That is a big-time severe weather producer. And as we get into Sunday night, look at this ridge. This will likely be producing significant severe weather across the Arklatex region into Illinois, and you can even see those bends on those isobars. That means some very violent storms are going to be moving through these areas, and as it gets so, 2 a.m. on Monday morning, very violent looking line of showers and thunderstorms. I'll take a look at the surface, why I'm saying violent. And what you're noticing is you have a ridge out here in the east and you have a ridge out here in the west. Now you may say, oh, will this ridge protect us? Absolutely not. And what that's doing here is it's pumping that Gulf moisture up into the Mid-Atlantic states, up into the Carolinas, up into the Northeast. You're getting all the way into the upper 60s here for Monday. And if we get any instability to crack some of these cells, they will likely be tornadic. So we're going to have to really keep a close eye on Monday. Now, let's get into 5 a.m. Very potent line. And you can already start to see that it's a neutral tilt when, okay, so fast explanation. This is a positive tilt where it's like this a little bit. Neutral is like straight down the line. You see it with the isobars even. But watch how as we get into Monday morning, starts to get a little bit more negative and it gets really strong. Look at this. I mean, just this is off the charts how strong this thing is. And it just keeps on getting deeper. This is about 2 p.m. on Monday. We are having a damaging line of storms in the Ohio Valley into western PA. And I mean, you can just see that ripe moisture getting pulled out of the Gulf of Mexico, slingshotting straight into the East Coast. That's going to be causing your supercells and tornadoes, and boom, your heavy squall line comes through, and your damaging winds. Look how tight these isobars are. I mean, this is just ridiculous. You just see these colors, and you're like, oh my god, this is just ridiculous. And then what happens after that? A massive firecracker inferno ridge in the west, and could we get another setup of severe weather? Man, I'm getting really concerned about this. This is a huge severe weather pattern. It's just a classic one. Right there in the blues and whites, that's where your line is going to be. Literally. Oh my god, that's so nasty. And the thing that's differing about Wednesday, from last Wednesday to these Monday storms is, let's see here. Okay. This is going to be your 850. Let's see if it shows it well enough. Oh, yeah. This is definitely going to show it. So, okay. So this is for your Saturday. Let's get into Sunday here. And let's get further into the day, okay? We have a strengthening LLJ across Ohio, and you still see it's relatively disorganized. However, once we get later into the afternoon hours, into the evening hours, very strong low-level jet tapping into that line of storms, which you see in those sharp colors right here. That's the line of storms here. And what's that doing? This is pulling south from the south, some very rich moisture, and back over on the squall line front, your dew points are dropping to single digits, from 60s to single digits. That's how sharp and that's how violent this line is. And notice how your LLJ really starts to ramp up by the time we get to Saturday night. And this is when I'm expecting the damaging wind threat to get extremely strong across Tennessee, across western Kentucky, into Indiana. And this whole entire area, I'm getting really scared about severe weather. Now, 2 a.m., look at that low-level jet. Look at this. This is 80 to 90 miles per hour. And no. 80 to 90 knots. This is equating to near 100 miles per hour. Just above your head. This squall line is likely going to be mixing down 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. And you're seeing destructive force hurricane winds across this line from Indiana all the way down into Mississippi. Although the forcing is a lot stronger here. That's going to be a significant part of the equation. Maybe Middle Atlantic are going to see more strong to severe storms with tornadoes than Florida, let's say. Well, let's see how it progresses. 5 a.m., very, very strong LLJ. 8 a.m., no, notice how it weakens a bit. That's normal. It's 8 a.m. in the morning, still a very strong line of storms. But watch what starts to happen. When you get this type of signal showing up in New Jersey around 2 to 5 p.m., look at this. This is gonna be like a spinning top atmosphere. If you get even one discrete cell, it will likely turn into a powerful supercell potentially in this type of environment. And we could get some strong, I wouldn't be surprised for a couple strong, I'm not just talking EF0 to EF1 tornadoes. I am saying we could very easily see a couple strong tornadoes on Monday. I don't know if it's going to be the Virginias, the Carolinas, the Pennsylvania border, New Jersey. Any one of those areas is under the gun to see one strong tornado for Monday. And I'm not saying that, it's limited to the Mid-Atlantic. This is also affecting Illinois and Missouri and Tennessee. I don't want you guys to skip out on this. But I'm just looking at the Mid-Atlantic. The Mid-Atlantic is screaming big time severe weather. Let's get into 5 p.m. And you just notice what I mean, man. You get, and if you even get 1,000 joules per kilogram of instability on top of this, what the heck is even this? 90 miles per hour above your head? This is just scary. I could see this turning into a very, very dire situation. And I could see a potential enhanced or even a moderate risk across this area into the Delmarva. I cannot be surprised if we do get a rare moderate risk because your ingredients are just insanely ripe. And then let's get into, let's say 8 p.m. Look at that LOJ. Look at this LOJ crashing right into that squall line in New Jersey. That is going to be producing damaging. And I'm not just taking the word damaging verbatim. When I mean damaging, I mean powerful, fierce, toppling trees, everything. I mean it, man. I don't take this lightly. When I see a 979 up into Canada and you have this very powerful cold front where you drop from the 70s to the 30s in the matter of minutes, I don't take this lightly, okay? I don't overhype for no reason. Yes, maybe I do sometimes, but this setup, trust me, you want to get notified as early as possible because later it's gonna be too late. So I'm just warning you right now, Monday is gonna be a significant day. Talk about the LOJ. We got revving up winds. It just keeps on continuing through the nighttime hours. We may even get an isolated area of 105 miles per hour in above your heads in Massachusetts and Boston. That thing may become even stronger than New Jersey. But you just get the idea. This thing moves through by 11 and you get very cold air behind this. But until you don't get that squalling to move through, you have an extremely dangerous environment. This is why I want you to watch this. And, okay, and you may be saying, hey, Alex, well, I mean, what are the other factors here? Well, let's take a look here at your dew points. And this is going to illustrate it very well here, okay? So, this is going to be your sharp line of divide. Looking at your reflectivity. Yeah, that's your sharp line of divide, okay? And that's literally well depicted with these dew points here. You get warm surging air out of the Gulf of Mexico, and you have 30s and 20 dew points crashing behind it. Well, watch what starts to happen. 5 a.m. Monday, we start to get dew points into the mid-60s in the Carolinas, but you see that thin, very thin corridor of some locally higher dew points than 55 here? That's why, because of this line, because it's forcing up. It's being forced up because it has no choice. And behind that, Chicago, you're in the dew points in the 20s. Now, let's get into the afternoon hours. And that's when things become very, very potentially violent, okay? This is going to be for 11 a.m. on Monday. Look at this ripe. And I mean riper than this on the Tennessee, Indiana, and Arklatex region. This is a ripe, more warm sector with the winds coming from the southwest. And I'm not just talking southwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. This is potentially gusting up to 40 to 50 miles per hour in the early morning hours of Monday. Yes, 40 to 50 miles per hour surging out of the south direction in the morning. That is warming up, ripening your freaking severe threat and the warm sector. Look at this warm sector by the time we get into 2 p.m. We're having dew points into the 60s into New Jersey, 60s into almost, let's say, southern New York, and this whole entire warm sector, you can see that very clearly. A classic warm sector look, and this just continues throughout the afternoon, and this is why I'm warning. If we get any supercells, this is going to take full advantage. Any isolated cells, even one blip, can turn into a massive supercell. I don't know if we're going to be talking about these Midwest supercells we saw last week, but I'm telling you, it's going to be rotating like a top, and it could produce a tornado anytime. But anyways, back to this dew point map. Look at this. 8 p.m., and then in western Pennsylvania, dew points into the 20s. And then 11 p.m., front moves through, temperatures crash. And notice your change of direction of wind. That's a very drastic. Let's look at this wind barb here. That's your south wind. That's 3 lines on that line. So that's probably up to 30 miles per hour sustained. And then let's get into evening hours. Boom, shift to west wind immediately. And then your day after, you get dew points in the single digits and potentially negatives in parts of the Northeast. So this is really crazy. Really is crazy. And the freaking surface map is not going to look any better, okay? So this is for your Sunday. You have that stretching cold front from, let's say, Illinois into the Arklatex region. You got heavy snow up here. There is a heavy snow threat up here. We could be seeing feet of snow in Wisconsin and Michigan. We'll talk about that later maybe. But again, severe weather threat. Look at that. Look at that line. Look at this freaking powerful line. And that's going to take advantage of that low-level jet we mentioned earlier, which is the winds above your head. Watch what starts to happen. This is 11 p.m. This is 2 a.m. You even start to see snow on the backside in Indiana into Missouri. But look at these winds. Notice that these winds are extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. And you do get some shower activity into the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic by 5 a.m. But that's going to be your initial round of probably some thunderstorms embedded in there. I wouldn't be surprised if we did get some strong storms into New Jersey at 5 a.m. on Monday morning. But that is the round. That isn't that round. But let's get into 11 a.m. Monday. Look at all these cells traveling from the southwest to the northeast orientation. Look at those strong winds. Look at that strong LOJ. The line may be a little bit weak now, but watch what starts to happen. 2 p.m., boom! This is what I want you to see. 11 a.m. and then 2 p.m., boom, supercell. That is likely a supercell right there. Supercell, potentially a supercell in the Carolinas. And then let's get into 5 p.m., damaging line of storms. This is a really bad, damaging line of storms. And it isn't going to be like last Wednesday where you get away with, oh, I missed the line of storms. Like, oh, this is a statewide event. Statewide event. All these damaging winds are going to push through. And this is going to cause a very dangerous line of storms from the Carolinas into Pennsylvania. And then by 8 p.m., we get this violent line of storms crossing into New Jersey. We may even have an additional supercell or two out there. Maybe a QLCS tornado threat for Jersey into, let's say, New York. I mean, this warm sector could reach, heck, all the way up into central New York. 979 millibar. Watch these crashing temperatures on the millibars. Look how cold and windy it just gets behind this. And then boom, 11 p.m. front moves through. We may get a couple snow showers on the backside. big time winds wrapping behind the system, and it looks like it's over for now. So, I mean, wow. I mean, Jesus, man. This storm is gonna be potentially historic. I'm not just saying that to take this very lightly, but I'm saying when it could be historic for the Mid-Atlantic to see a moderate risk potentially, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean it. And let's look at the CSU for a minute. Boom, that's what you get. So just for reference, 5% is your brown, 15% is your yellow. That stretches up into, heck, all the way into southern Canada, into central New York. The 30 is an enhanced risk. And that is stretching all the way up into New Jersey, into Pennsylvania. And we even got a hatched risk of severe weather into the Carolinas, Eastern Virginia, and into Baltimore, and potentially into Maryland. What this tells me is that, no, this risk will continue to expand. I don't see this dying down anytime soon. SPC should be watching this very closely for Philly and New Jersey. I think they're going to be in a big risk tomorrow. And this hatch risk, I unfortunately think this could stretch up all the way into New Jersey. I unfortunately think so. I mean, the ingredients that we're talking about for Monday into Monday night could potentially be destructive. I'm not mentioning destructive severe storms lightly. When I talk about destructive severe storms, I look for 4 ingredients. Wind shear, big time wind shear, over 100 miles per hour, literally roaring above your head. We have the winds. We have the dew points getting up into the 60s in New Jersey. We have some cape into maybe 800 joules per kilogram in the afternoon. And what is the last ingredient you need? Heat. We have heat. We have a very potent cold front, violent cold front at that. So when I say damaging winds and violent storms, I don't mean it to take it lightly. And even the National Weather Service, even the Weather Channel is already calling historically, okay? This is historic, okay? So today's Friday, and we're looking on the event on Monday. So we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They already have the wording potential for severe thunderstorms. And I even checked the local forecast for southern New Jersey. What did I see? Damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes possible. That is very rare wording they are saying, okay? This is very rare wording. I want you to warn yourself now. If you are going to be out on Monday, please reconsider now. I don't want you to be stuck in this crap that's going on, because quite frankly, I will feel very bad for you. And if you get a tornado warning, man, in traffic, I don't want any deaths in New Jersey. Please. I really don't want any just, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. Just, this event is about to go down in history for New Jersey. I mean, day 4. This is day 4, okay? The max you usually get in New Jersey is either a 15% or a 5% to see a hatched risk for portions of the Mid-Atlantic on day 4. And that is even moderating. These colors here in the purple magenta, this is screaming a severe weather outbreak. I don't know, but what I'm seeing right now, the front is slowing down now. It used to be faster. The line came at 5 p.m. Yes, the line would have gotten QLCS tornadoes, even that. But since that front is slowing down, that's taking more and more and more energy up into the Gulf and riding up the East Coast, and it's going to allow for more time for destabilization, more time for supercell development, and more prefrontal storm activity. And it doesn't matter if that line comes in later or not. You're still going to be dealing with a damaging line of severe thunderstorms probably. It doesn't matter. So really now, it's all about if you get the bad situation or the worst situation, okay? The bad situation would be if the line came through at 5 p.m. But the worst situation would be if you got supercells out ahead of that in that warm sector across, let's say, the Carolinas, Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, into Pennsylvania, and then you get that destructive line of storms to sweep through with 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts likely in that line. Yeah, man. I mean, there are potentially historic times coming, and I want you to get an early warning from my video. Take away something that we are in real danger for Monday, okay? The last time I saw this was from Ida, and you know what Ida did? It produced a historic tornado outbreak in the Mid-Atlantic, produced the first ever tornado emergency in New Jersey, producing an EF3 tornado in Mullica Hill. Again, that's the only other time I saw this outlook, this significant, this early in the game. And I would not be surprised if I saw 45% stretching all the way from the Carolinas into New Jersey tomorrow. This is just mind-blowing, man. Really is just mind-blowing. I'm getting real concerned about this, okay? The day 3 outlook, I would not be surprised to see a SIG 2. Not just a SIG 1, SIG 2. So, oh man. Active times are... some very active times are ahead indeed, man. I mean, I did not know this storm would become that violent that fast, but I'm just warning you right now, please take this very seriously. Please, please, please. We will be updating this more and more and more and more. We're going to be doing a video tomorrow. We're going to be doing a video potentially Sunday, and maybe we're getting ready for Monday. We have our tripod, we have our time-lapse camera, we have everything ready to go for Monday. I want a big thunderstorm. I want a big lightning boomer. But the fact that we're talking about supercells on that day, it's scary. Okay? It's scary. And I want you to get the early heads up that we may be dealing with supercellular thunderstorms before that line comes through. Again, best case scenario, maybe 1 or 2 only develops and you get that line to come through earlier in the day. But even that will produce a violent line of thunderstorms. But you really want to not have big time supercells, because that will be very scary. Unfortunately, I'm not liking where this is heading, and it's heading towards that. So, anyways, guys, I'll see you guys later. Be aware of the very strong winds potentially on Saturday morning. Again, secure loose objects. And then please get ready for Monday. I cannot tell you this enough. Get ready for Monday. Now, it's not, if it happens or when it happens, it's happening. The damaging winds, happening. It's happening. It's not even that, it's going to go to the north or south. It's happening. I can't tell anything else this damaging wind's going to happen for the eastern U.S. But is a supercell going to happen? Is a tornado threat going to happen? We still have to fine-tune it. But we have a big bowling ball monster storm headed our way. Anyways, guys, I will see you guys later. Have a great rest of your Friday. Stay safe out there, and I'll be updating way more often. I will see you guys. Please start getting ready now.